In the last 30 days of selling on eBay, I've made about £3,000 worth of revenue, about £600 to £700 worth of profit, and about 70 sales. I want to tell you about how I did it and how you can ultimately do the same in this short video. The thing about selling on eBay seriously is that you do have to take it seriously, and this is something which from the get-go people get wrong. Let me tell you about my store. I sell watches, as I've said many times before, but the thing about my store is, whilst I have made 70 sales, I have more than 70 listings. Most people, when they get into eBay, want to list 1 or 2 products and hope to have a really good winning product that they can sell time and time again. If you're selling brand new items that you can buy in bulk and have a lot of stock laying around, it makes sense to make sure you're selling a few items. Try and sell as many items as you possibly can. Right now on my store, I have about 200 listings. I'm trying to get more and more every single day. I've got a listing goal of between 5 and 10 per day, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. If anything, it's just growing and growing as the store grows. And like I said, sales have been picking up rapidly. In the past 2 months alone, I've seen massive growth, and this is set to continue. It started off at a point where I was making maybe 2 sales a week, and now we're getting to the point where I'm making 3 sales a day. Now, 3 sales a day with a minimum, and this is important, the minimum profit that I make is about £10 per time. I'm going to be making at least £900 if things carry on this way next month, and that's important. So the biggest way that I did that is by listing as many items as I possibly could and as I possibly can. Now, you are going to run into issues here as to where you store them and where you source them from. That's something that you'll have to sort out by yourself, but ultimately try and list as much stuff as you can. If you want to make an income of £3,000, £5,000, £10,000, how would you ever do that if you don't even have £3,000 listed? You need to have that listed as a minimum, because not everything on your store is going to sell. My sales conversion rate is actually quite low. I'll talk to you guys about that more in the future, and yes, I am trying to improve it, but that's something to note. If I have a sales conversion rate of, let's say, between 1 and 3%, that is relatively low, but if I had 1,000 items listed, I'm obviously going to still make sales because I have so many items listed and such a broad catalogue. Somebody's going to like something on my store, and the more items I have, the more likely that's going to be and the more sales I can make. Now, at the point that I'm at right now, it is becoming a challenge to manage inventory, but that's just one of the costs of running the business. And like I said, with the income that's coming in to the point where I'm going to be making £900 a month, that's not bad for a side hustle. So if I have to put in an extra 3 to 4 hours, that's still a good amount of time to pay. And if you calculated that as an hourly rate, it wouldn't be too bad at all. So be aware of the complexity of running a store that's got tens, if not hundreds of listings, but it is something which may pay off in the long term. Alongside listing lots of items, one thing that I was able to do is build up a really good reputation. My feedback score has been increasing massively. Like I said in our previous video, one of the reasons why I shut down this store originally is because I had some negative feedback, and this ultimately dropped my feedback score from 100% to 88%. Because I only had like 10 feedback and somebody left 1 negative feedback, it brought my account down that very much. Since I've started selling again this year, I've made it my main priority to focus on getting good feedback and providing a good customer experience. And there have been some frustrating times where I've had to take a small loss, deduct some pay from the customer, and ultimately make it cheaper for them, but it's allowed me to get that extra positive feedback and build a good store reputation, which is absolutely crucial. Something else which has benefited me is becoming an above average / top rated seller. So earlier this week, I became eligible to become a top rated seller, and that is obviously going to help me because now eBay knows that I'm a trustworthy seller who goes above and beyond to provide for the customers, and therefore they will send me more sales. And I've noticed that quite a bit. There's some other sellers who offer very similar, if not the same product that I do, but they do so at a cheaper price. But I still get more sales, and I have got more sales overall than they have, because eBay and the customer also knows that I have built up a clientele base and a customer base and a reputational feedback score where I will not scam the buyer, where I'll go out of my way to do what I can to provide the best feedback, and where they can ultimately trust me to deliver fast postage, good products, and decent prices. And because of all of those factors that I've built up over the past 3 months, customers now know that I'm trustworthy, and therefore eBay and the customer themselves will send me the sales. One of the biggest things I also recommend is making sure that stuff in your store is actually selling and is actually in demand. If I have 100 listings, but they're all for items that nobody views, nobody wants, and the images look terrible, I'm not going to be doing any sales because people don't want what I have. The best things that I can do is optimize my listings in the best possible way. That's really helped me out, provide good images, but also look at the listings. This is something which I personally do at the end of every month. So coming into about the 25th all the way up to the 30th or the 31st, I look through my listings, see what has sold a lot, see what has not sold at all, see what's got barely any views, and then I remove these products. Now this can be trouble depending on how your business model works. For instance, if you have a load of stock laying around, the question is how do you then get rid of that useless stock without making a loss, without taking too much of a loss, and without affecting your business too much? This is a trouble with buying stuff in bulk in massive numbers. And again, it's something which is quite hard to manage when you first begin. But as time goes on, you'll quickly realize what your best selling products are, and then you can buy hundreds of those in bulk if necessary. If items in your store are not in demand or are not selling, it's probably best to clear them out of the store or alter those listings in a way that will actually get them to sell. But be careful with having 100 listings that people don't want to buy, as this will overall affect your account in a negative way, as nobody is going to be purchasing and you'll just be wasting space in your eBay inventory. And something else that I have done, which ties into the last point, is looking at ways to continuously improve customer service. So like I just said, it's hard at first to know what your best selling products are. The best way that I like to deal with that, or have dealt with that and still continue to test out new products, is I buy one or two of them in at the time, try and keep the listing up if I can so I don't lose any sales. But yeah, I buy in maybe one or two of the products, just have it laying on this desk here, and then when it finally sells, see how long it took, see how many views it got, how much interest it got, and if it keeps selling slowly, I just keep buying in one at a time to the point where I've just always got two in stock, and that way I can then simply sell them on and not have too much inventory laying around. Now I have some products in this massive haul that I have here, and I'll show you this in another day behind the camera, but I have some products here where I have 10, 15 of the exact same product, and the reason for that is I know that this product over here that I've got labeled is going to sell probably 10 items in the next week or two. It just is. It has done every single week since it's been listed, and that's only going to grow as the store gets better feedback, more reviews, and better experience for customers overall. More and more people just keep buying this item. There's been points where it's been selling 5 items a day, so I know with confidence almost that I can take this item over here, buy 10 of them at a time, buy 15 of them at a time, possibly even 20 at a time if I can get a good price. And I know that that stack of 10, 15 items, 20 items is probably going to be gone in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So that's the times that I recommend scaling up inventory, but be very careful with scaling as you begin. But by scaling this inventory, I'm able to offer the best prices because I buy in bulk, which means that I save on costs. I can then pass that saving on to the consumer, but also by having a lot of stock here, I can then sell out quickly and provide very quick delivery. This is something which some people get wrong depending on their business model, especially if it's something like a drop shipping business model. People have drop shipping items coming from China, which just takes too long. By having items here, I can simply sell them on and send them out the next day or two. It's just a lot more convenient than having to wait weeks and weeks and weeks for an item and then customers get frustrated. So things like this allow me to offer the best possible customer service. I have that item here and I send it out as soon as it is ordered or the next day possible. So all of these things have allowed me to build a good reputation on eBay and have increased my sales to the point where I'm making $3,000 this month. And again, I'm set next month to make about £1,000 in pure profit. And that is going to be the 4th month of trading on eBay only. So in about 4 months, I've been able to build a business growing about £1,000 a month in pure profit. It's taken me between 2 and 3 hours a day maximum to do this, and I have to say it's been quite pleasant. The points I've just noted have helped me to do this, and they of course include offering the best customer service, offering the best shipping and prices available, and always making sure that you're doing what you can to build up a positive feedback score. So these are the ways that I've built my income to this point and how I will continue to hopefully do this into the next few months. The point of this channel is to document the process, so hopefully you enjoy it and hopefully you'll come around to seeing our next video. But that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you did, make sure to smash that like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.